Spring is here, and it's time to start thinking about those gardens. So if you want a beautiful custom planter for your plants this spring, we have just the thing for you. We're joined by Amber Parsons with Midwest Mud.
Hello.
Yeah, thanks for coming on again. I always love having you on because you get to show off some really cool creativity, and you're doing an event tomorrow night called Let's Make Planters.
Let's Make Planters. Yes, we're doing it. I actually opened up another session because it already is full.
Oh, I bet people out there are itching to kind of do something that's spring related. So you're going to show us a little bit of how you make a planter. So what are we going to learn today?
Okay, so these are actually samples of what they will look like when they're done. What I have here in front of me, I pre-rolled some slabs of clay. This is exactly how you're going to get them in the class. You'll take a sponge and we'll wipe off the edges because we don't want those edges, once they're fired, to hurt you at all. They're soft and squishy now.
Okay, that's smart.
Yeah, so we're just going to wipe around the edges. I'm going to actually flip it over and do the other side.
Okay. It's like, it reminds me of when I make like wontons and you dab the corners with eggs.
Yeah. I used to make wontons because I worked at China Doll, so
nice.
I loved making wontons and egg rolls. So
cool.
Actually, I think that the clay process really reminds me of baking or cooking.
It really does. But
yeah.
I know with baking you have to be really exact with the ingredients and how long you bake something, or else it could go completely haywire. Is that the same with making pottery?
Exactly the same. Yes, we use not edible ingredients, but they definitely. Chemicals are used in glazes. There's different recipes for clay. So what I have here is this is an underglaze transfer. You can order this online, so it's pre-made. I'm going to place it on the clay, and this is how
beautiful pattern.
It really is. I'm just really drawn to the blue, and I love the way that it shows up, and it's nice and clean.
So here's kind of what it looks like on the finished product, and it's really professional. It looks like something that you would buy in a store.
Yes. And so I'm just wetting it down. So if you think about this transfer, I think about it as like one of those cool tattoos you got in the gum, where it's basically like a tattoo for your clay.
You just lick your hand and stick the tattoo on?
Totally like that, yep.
Except don't lick the clay.
Don't lick the clay. I actually tell my students that a lot. We use a lot of like forks and knives, you know.
So the food analogies are quite heavy there.
Yes, they are.
So how long do you have to keep this print on before it kind of sticks to the clay?
So what I'm doing is I'm just kind of burnishing it onto the clay with a tool called a rib, and I just lightly am pressing it on until the tissue paper is kind of just looks really smooth and clean.
Okay.
And then I'm just going to take that transfer and just pull it back.
Wow, that is clean.
And it is very clean. So now we don't really want to touch this because this is really wet. So so if I just put my hands on there, it would actually transfer to my hands. So we're just going to be really careful about touching that top surface.
Right.
So next, what I have is I've put together a PVC pipe with some paper.
And that paper is important, right? It keeps it from sticking?
That's correct. Yep. And I'm just going to trim off a little bit of this unclean edge here.
So who is this class good for? Because I'm imagining like taking my girlfriend to one of these. This would be a fun couples activity.
Totally a fun couples activity. I've had a lot of like groups of work people come to my classes, so I do a lot of team building. Really, like moms and daughters can come to this class. I try to make the class easy for pretty much all ages. So.
That's really cool. And then when is it? You're having one tomorrow, and then you said that you actually just set up another class?
Right. So April 26th, I'll have a class from 7 to 9. And then there'll be another class. I think I still have a few spots on my May 1st class. So.
Okay. That's great. It's just in time for spring, so I bet they're really popular.
Yes. And Mother's Day, actually, is what I was thinking. But
no, that's giving me ideas. I mean, my mom likes to garden. Maybe I could make something like this for her.
Yeah, and what mom doesn't want things to be made by their children?
Yeah, even if you're kids and adults.
Exactly. My mom never stops. So.
That's cool. Now, I noticed that with that pipe, it's a really even circle, but some of these the demo potters you brought, planters, are kind of irregularly shaped, and I think that gives them a lot more character. So, so do you get kind of a freedom to kind of shape it however you want?
You can, and actually, so I just like to get the original shape first, and as you can see, I'm putting the bottom on here. Mm-hmm. So after I get this bottom on, then we can kind of shape it if we wanted to. You can shape it beforehand too, but the cylinder really helps for people who are new to clay to be able to press and have your side stand up. So
yeah, that's smart because you don't want it to collapse on you. And then of course you won't be able to walk out with the planters on the night of the event, right? You got to fire them in the kiln.
Right. So I would be keeping them, and
Not forever, though. You
Not
get them
forever.
eventually.
Yep. I would be keeping them and then firing them for you. And then it takes about 2 weeks for me to actually go through the firing process
Okay.
and
So-
get them back to you.
So if you do one of the classes within the next couple of weeks, it'll be ready just in time for Mother's Day.
That's absolutely right. Yes.
Wow, and that's impressive. You did all that in only about 5 minutes. And
Yeah.
That's really, really cool.
Yeah. And then we just take out the top. I'd put this around the bottom. And I know we're running out of time here, so I just put that on the top, and then you'd have a really cute little planter.
Oh, that base, a little flared base, is absolutely adorable, and
Yeah.
I'm sure that makes it more stable.
Right, it does. And I mean, you don't have to do that. You can blend that in if you want to, but yeah, you can add whatever you want to the piece.
Well, that's pretty cool. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes,
we love
thank
having
you.
you on, Amber, and we'll have all the information on how you can help make planters on KVRR.com, and we're back with one last check of the weather after the break.